statement made, the flames growing by the day. So my friend, we are here to say thank you today for what you did on the stage. And my friend, your voice in your songs are gifts from above, and the world sings along.
Second segment, see that? I'm so glad that first segment's over with.
Rolling, gee, my ass is swollen real high.
I let a dog go down me once.
Check 1, 2.
And it was finger licking good.
Well, it was a Cocker Spaniel. They said, use a Greyhound. Use a Great Dane. No, I had to use a Cocker Spaniel.
Wait, which was it? Was it a cock or a spaniel?
By the time it was done, it was a Spaniel.
Started
out as a cock,
First
but it ended up
was
as a
cock.
Spaniel.
We are back. It's the Darryn Yates Show, powered by the Mayhem Network. We are here at the brand new Mayhem Studio in Bethalto, Illinois. Very excited. Thank you to my awesome, talented co-host / panel for being here, and our producer, Matt. Thank you, my friend.
AKA
No problem,
the
man.
directors.
Are you
or
hiding,
no?
opening a beer, or is that just...
Decorators.
We're decorators.
No, well, I didn't know. I was kind of dancing back and forth during
The producer's
video.
taking a beer?
Okay.
Well, I was dancing back and forth during the video, the music video, so I figured I better open it under the computer.
Which I have
Nice.
to tell you, wasn't that the greatest dance ever.
You know?
You're definitely white.
I can only do so much with these big old balls,
I love it.
It's
I
the
love
Big
that.
Ball Show.
we have a guest in the studio, don't we?
We definitely do. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. How are you?
But first of all, before we get to awesome brand here, we have to announce the Mayhem Factor. We are doing auditions here at this studio Saturday, April 13th
Uh-oh.
from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We have tons of slots booked. So if you want to showcase your talent on the Mayhem Network at the Mayhem Studio, email us at themayhemstudio@gmail.com. You can do any talent you have, and the top 10
Any talent?
will perform live
Is there a
in
minimum
front of judges,
is
talent agency judges.
Is there a minimum age for this?
No,
That's what I
all
thought.
ages.
And don't forget too, if you can't make it on
Awesome.
April
I'll
13th,
bring all my fans.
if you can't make it on April 13th for the live auditions, you could always email in an audition of a video.
Yeah, exactly. If you can't make it,
Or just
email.
show up and bang on the window.
But
of the
now, if
studio,
you
I
mail in or email us your video, make sure that if you win, you can be
Be
in-
at the finals, yes.
in Bethalto
Yes,
to perform at the
yes.
finals. Right? Exactly.
We don't want real young kids, though, do we? I mean, it's like 4-year-olds wouldn't know what they were getting into.
Well, they maybe do. Depends on what the talent
I-
is.
we- we had
Depends on
our-
their parents, I
yeah.
guess.
The old
Right,
man
if
network.
it's like block building,
That would be
they'd
awesome.
be good.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I
at
can
the
build
old
a
man
tower.
network, we had a set 8-year-old, I think, who came in and did like a little monologue actress.
Yeah, but
It was
that
pretty cool.
kid's in an asylum now. That kid had a traumatic... no, I don't.
That kid turned into Howie.
Yeah.
Which is really
That's
not-
how I got started. I auditioned. I was actually 4, and my dad put me on his radio station, and I sat in a chair and rolled in circles, and the host kept asking me questions, and I would go, "Well, what?" And he finally kicked me out of the studio, and I thought I'd never have a career again, and here I am.
So,
So
is
you-
my dad's studio short for something else?
Yeah,
Oh my
my dad was a
God.
producer
Is he-
just like Matt.
So, yes.
All right.
Trust me, from what I've
Right.
heard about Hung Howie, there's nothing short about
Well,
his family.
and my
Yeah.
dad's not here to defend himself. He's gone to a better place. He moved to the suburbs outside of New York. So.
All right. Well, let's get to our guests who we have. You know, he might be a regular guest. We don't know for sure. He's
He looks
working on his
pretty
own
irregular to
show.
me. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's working on his own show too. You
Correct.
just never know. This is the Mayhem Network. You never know what's going to happen. But today, this is our awesome guest. You were a top 8 finalist in
That's
the
correct.
ESPN Sportscaster Factor.
All right.
Congratulations.
Indeed. Thank you very much.
Again, Mr. Brant Dulcie.
Thank you.
So, dude, I gotta get this off my chest.
Okay.
Fred and I, when we walked into our audition, because Fred and I auditioned for the same thing he did, we got completely jacked. It was negative. It was horrible. You were cool with it.
See, I had a completely different experience, I guess, than you did because I actually auditioned twice. The first time, I was under the impression I would get 3-4 minutes, which is quite a lengthy time. And then I ended up only getting 60 seconds. So I tried to cram all that info into 60 seconds, and there was really no opinion. So,
And the judges were pretty, the PD, the program director of the ESPN.
Program director and a host. It was
pretty big guys there, yeah.
assistant PD, and a host of the show, of one of their shows, a daily show. And they were cool with me.
So what did you go in and talk about?
Well, the first time I tried to talk about spring training battles because that was the hot topic. And I was going to talk about second base, but there's like 5 guys to talk about at that point. So I just slammed through all this info, and it was just god-awful. And they told me to come back and try again because they thought I had a chance. And I came back the next week, and I talked about players leaving early, if they should be allowed to leave early for the NBA draft and NFL draft, and railed on the NFL a little bit about how they try to protect the athlete, and the NBA is worried about the student athlete when they're not at all. They're concerned about making money and their own bottom line. They don't care about those kids. And they put it out there that they do, but they really don't. It was a strong about 3 minutes, and I pretty much got in right away. And then finals went pretty good, and I just didn't make it. My show plan was the worst I've seen. So
Yeah, he told us the story in the green room.
yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
You talked about second base your first
Well,
time?
no, he said that, he missed the email because it got
Into his
filtered
junk
through his
folder?
junk.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
hate when that
the
happens.
moral
Into
of
his
that
junk.
story
up in
became
his
my
junk.
joke, and it's always check your junk.
Right. Now, I'm not saying, for everybody out there, I'm not saying that's the reason I didn't win.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I would have had a representative show plan, I would have had a pretty good shot. So
Well, it just seemed like to me that they were instantly judging people. The second you walked in, I don't give a F if it was the third night and it was the last night.
right.
You show everyone that comes in, whether it's the first guy or the 150th, the respect that they deserve.
Right.
And I got disrespected. That my long hair, unshaved,
Right.
rock vibe.
Which is beautiful.
They didn't even effing look at me. You, ESPN. I'll blur. But I was so disrespected. Seriously, I can't even listen to ESPN anymore.
They just can't take
They
a
didn't.
long
They didn't even give me a chance. Before I even
serious.
spoke one word, I felt like I was completely judged
Right.
and completely disrespected.
Yeah.
And it was a horrible experience. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And Fred thought
yeah.
the same thing. He didn't tell me how bad it was
Right.
because
Yeah.
he wanted me to experience
But
it.
I
myself.
saw Fred's. Fred's just wasn't good.
Yeah.
So I can see why they judged him because
Yeah.
it just didn't work out as planned.
Yeah.
But it made for
Fred.
great outtakes.
Yeah.
Who's Fred?
Exactly.
Yes.
You know,
Hey, Fred,
No,
how's
no,
that
no.
for your ego? Who is Fred?
Fred Slow. He
Fred is,
hosts the show.
Too Heavy
done
to
from the same
Skydive.
studio. Yeah.
Right.
He never mentions my show on his show, but I'm going to mention his show on my show.
Well, what you didn't
And
notice
Matt.
is we mentioned it on the show tonight.
Matt is the co-host at
I am.
Too Heavy to Skydive.
Yes.
And we're all
He is.
partners, so it's cool.
Co-host and producer, yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I auditioned for ESPN too, and you mentioned second base. I did a whole thing about getting to second base, and it didn't go really well.
Right.
Plus, they looked
I
at me when
mean,
I walked in and goes, "We're not
They're
going to
not
hire.
talking about boobs.
And we're not going to hire a Jewish guy for this. What are you kidding?" And I went on anyway, but I was clearly, upset.
No, I had a completely different experience.
But I mean, sports, analysis and sports reporting, it's not my thing. I didn't expect really to get it. I just wanted a little bit more respect, a little bit of a shot.
right.
But you went in there, it's your thing. You were confident. You went
Yeah.
in and nailed it. First
Right.
time a little bit, second time for sure. Got in the top 8.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's what I went to school for. It's what I want to do.
so tell us your favorite sports areas. Cardinals, Rams.
Yeah. My
What's your
favorite
passion?
My favorite area is I played collegiate baseball. I currently umpire at the collegiate level. I do some Division I non-conference, Division II, Division III, some JUCO, and I've been dealing with baseball since I was like 4 or 5. And although it's my favorite sport, I'm 30 now, and it's been about 25 years of pretty heavy baseball stuff. So I'm still involved, and I still actually play. Currently, I'm in a men's league that I play on Sundays in the summer, and it's kind of it's not getting old, but my passion's kind of switched to college basketball and the University of Illinois in particular. And
Nice.
Also, I used to have football season tickets to Illinois, but they were about like the Rams for 4 years, so I gave those up, and I decided to attend 2 or 3.
What? Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
I do. The
Seriously?
Rams are horrible.
They're
No,
not.
they're
No,
not.
they're not now.
Not now.
They're not at all.
Ugh. I just the
You're rating them by
They're
whether
not
they fill out the
horrible.
uniform
The
well
St.
or
Louis
not.
Rams?
Yeah.
Are they good?
You guys, Jeff Fisher's
I
on
can't
board. We
imagine.
went 7-8-1.
I would.
I'm excited.
I mean, they got a tough
Have
schedule,
we
but
seen the season at all yet? You're
No.
just you're like for scoping.
We're real foreshadowing.
what's a
No,
four scope?
for
Hold on.
scoping.
If you're
I
a
had one of those
true,
procedures once. It wasn't pleasant.
if you're a true NFL fan and you're Rams or Rams fan,
No
you
one's
know
a
the
Rams
Rams
fan.
are coming.
Yeah, they're
They're
no
coming.
question.
They're coming.
They're coming when?
No, that's
They're
not what he
coming
means.
from
Not Peter North.
Arizona, where
Rams are coming.
our team is, because that's where I want
You
our
know- you know-
team back.
It's knowing the back history of Jeff Fisher and what he's done with his teams and how we're building in the draft and all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't understand.
And he used to be with Dave.
Well, here's all you need to
No
know.
offense.
They're making fun of me.
I
at
love
this
you,
point.
but-
The San Francisco 49ers
Are you
were-
seriously a Rams fan at all?
I'm
You had
not
no
a
idea.
Rams
Okay.
fan. I've
Yeah.
been to the games. I try to be a
But they're
Rams
coming.
fan,
They're coming.
but
Yeah.
I can't be a Rams
That's Brant
fan
and I's thing. They're
Yeah.
because
coming.
they are like it's like mistake.
Well, yeah.
Well, you know, I'm excited about Hung Hobby's segment pretty soon. Jacked with Jacqueline, whatever we're going to call it. But I am so excited to hear your take on the Rams.
Absolutely.
What
Let's
you
go with
think?
that.
This guy's a true sports guy. This guy's going to be everywhere real soon. He was on our show first.
Plus,
Tell
a good
us.
sports guy can educate. Like Jackie will learn stuff
Right.
about sports.
Well,
So
from
tell
him.
us your take on the Rams.
I would say first of all, with the Rams, they had a, in my opinion, a fantastic year this llast year. I know 7-8-1 doesn't sound fantastic, but when you're 15-65 over 5 years, and 7 of those wins came in Sam Bradford's rookie year when they had the easiest schedule in the NFL. I mean, so that means the other 4 years you won 8 games in a league that
yeah.
prides itself on parity, and you're getting steamrolled by everyone.
Mhm.
They finally got a coach. They finally got a GM that knows what he's doing. They got an owner that knows what he's doing. I mean, Stan Kroenke is the most successful sports franchise owner in the entire world, and you really can't debate it. I mean, he
Yeah.
owns pretty much something in every league across the world, and they're all wildly successful. They got what I like to call is they have a plan in place, and they're letting you know what's going on. That's specificity and reciprocity is what I like to call it, which means the Rams know what they want to do. They're doing it, and they're telling everyone, this is what we're going to do. We're going to build through the draft. We're not going to go sign Mike Wallace for $65
I'm
million
getting chills. This is
for
awesome.
5
Yes, please keep talking.
for 5
I
years.
love the Rams.
And
Come on.
not be. I mean, would you rather have Jake Long and Jared Cook
He's wet. I can see it.
or Mike Wallace? I mean, that's what
Yeah.
it comes down to. And they've told
Mike
everyone.
Wallace, the old CBS.
No, no, not that different. Mike Wallace.
Oh, okay, because he's dead. So
Well, yeah.
hopefully the Rams didn't draft him.
No, they didn't. This guy here is dead. So I
Jared
mean,
Cook, a huge pickup. Don't you think?
So you think that the good pickups were better than what they lost because they lost Steven Jackson.
well, they lost
Jackson rocks.
They lost Steven Jackson.
He's
but-
in
See, you
he's
don't know
at the
the
end
Rams,
of
but
his
you knew
rope.
that.
yeah.
He's in his rope.
Well,
he didn't.
He's the end of his braids.
Did
well,
he?
That's what you-
Did he really impact games to win or lose it for us?
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely. It's not so much him running the ball between the tackles or catching passes out of
Mhm.
the backfield. It's more he's to put it into baseball terms, he's the Chris Carpenter of the Rams. Everyone looks to him. He sets the tone in the locker room and the weight room. I mean, he's 30 years old. He's 6'3", 240, and has a 5% body fat. He's worked harder than anyone in the NFL the last 10 years. Let's put it this way. This guy
He's
led
ballin'.
the NFC in rushing on a team that went 1-15.
But running backs wear down maybe faster than almost
Absolutely,
anybody.
because they're
Basi-
getting freaking.
I just hope the
Pounded.
Rams make the
Pounded.
playoffs and the
Yeah. I'm not
Falcons
talking
don't.
sexy.
Wouldn't that be
No.
Well,
something?
That would be fun at least.
I'm different. I don't think anything less of Steven Jackson. It's his career. He voided his own contract for $7 million.
Yeah.
He could have made 7 here. He signed for 8 for 2. So it wasn't about the money at all for him. He did whatever he could do here. I think it wasn't as simple as Jackson.
You know,
wanted
the only
to get a
problem
ring.
I have with him was when he told St. Louis fans and media that he liked what Jeff Fisher was doing and he wanted to stay a Ram and he was going to stay here pretty much. Just like Pujols
Well-
told us he wanted to be the next Stan and he leaves.
Well,
Jackson tells
That's
him and he
just
leaves.
like a man.
Don't tell
Yeah.
us that if
You
you might leave.
offer
Right.
I hate- no, I
information
I
that you
agree.
can't actually come up
Like,
with.
Yeah.
for instance, in baseball terms,
That's normal.
Prince Fielder, when he was his last year with the Brewers, they asked him about, are you going to be back? And he said to the media, I'm going to whoever gives me the most money. It might be the Brewers, but it's probably not going to be. Can totally respect that.
He was totally honest.
And
hey,
that's
you pay me, I'll be there.
I'm not.
I like that.
I'm not in charge
Be
of
honest.
Prince Fielder. I'm not in charge of Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
But it might be a case where Steven Jackson wants to carry the ball 25 times a game. Fish might have said, "Hey, look, Steven, I love you. I got 2 rookie running backs. I'm going to draft another one. You're not getting 25 carries. You might get 10 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't handle that, thanks for the service, but go somewhere else." And I think that was a big key.
So are we going to rely on Jackson and no, I'm sorry, Jackson's out. Isaiah Pede, Richardson, and the Scanaway guy? Or are we going to draft someone new? Or what's?
I would be completely shocked if Eddie Lacy, the running back out of Alabama, is available with the 16th pick. I would be absolutely shocked if they did not take Eddie Lacy at that point. Now they're looking at guards and tackles and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, basically, Eddie Lacy is a 23-year-old Steven Jackson. He's humongous. He's got good lateral quickness. He picks up blitzes. I mean, played for Nick Saban in Alabama. It's pro style, pro blitz pickups, pro running style. I mean, he's been groomed for this since he was 18 years old. He's ready to go, and he just fills a need right away. It's low cost. They could use their free agency on other stuff. Like they need at least one safety. They're probably going to draft one in the first round. They have that additional pick from Washington.
Yeah.
But
so is Isaiah Pete going to be out, you think? Or
no.
They're going to keep all those guys?
Yeah.
This is deep sports stuff. Jackie has no idea what they're talking about.
I
don't.
Jackie just
I
laid-
have every
You take a
idea.
quick
I'm just
nap?
trying to pay attention to our viewers.
You want to look good while they're
As
talking
well.
sports.
I would
basically.
honestly say that
I'm like this.
I think Ganaway's probably the odd
Yeah,
man
I'm
out,
watching her actually. But go ahead.
Really?
just because of the way it worked. But Isaiah Pede's definitely going to be involved, and Richardson's definitely going to be involved.
I love Richardson. Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of the same player, but again, they're not because
Maybe they are the same
It's
player.
because Richardson, the short for it is.
It just seemed like Darryl was like fearless.
Yeah.
And Pete,
And now it's
he had
sports.
some
It's
fumbles. He
Jackie.
dropped some passes. He was a little bit. I
Yep.
saw some fear in a couple of his run backs. I don't know.
well, I mean, he's coming from Abilene Christian. I mean, you go from Abilene Christian to the NFL. I mean, that's a pretty big jump. He
Yeah.
hasn't seen guys that fast or strong. He's
Right.
worried about ball security. He did have 3 fumbles late in games that probably cost him some carries. But Isaiah
Yeah.
Pete actually averaged 5.1
No, I'm
yards
just-
a carry. I don't know if he didn't get many
Yeah,
carries,
that's
but
true.
I
When we
mean-
come back, we'll have
So-
more on. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you.
Ball
Go ahead. No,
security.
So what do you think about? I gotta
Ball
ask. If
security
Sam
is-
Bradford has another mediocre year,
now
We'll
is
shoot him.
he?
We'll just shoot him.
Or what do you think
well,
about that whole thing? Because a lot of people are calling for his head and saying,
well,
Exactly.
a lot of people also think Matt Holliday
Hang
is
him,
terrible.
guillotine.
true.
Excuse me. A lot of people also think Matt Holliday's terrible, and that's the same people that think Sam Bradford's a bust. Sam Bradford has not had a number 1 receiver any of the 3 years he's been here. He got a new offensive coordinator all 3 years he's been here. He's been through 2 head
He's got a
coaches,
better arm than Tim Tebow, but then again, so do I.
and
So-
one of the worst head coaches in the
Howie.
history of professional sports. Steve Spagnuolo was his coach for 2 years, and
Sounds
somehow
okay.
what's that?
Oh, he just sits there and makes a
Sorry.
comment.
You're hanging out with a bunch of ADD kids in the studio.
No, I feel
I
the same
love
way.
sports.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
No, but we're giving everybody a little taste
Right.
of Brant
I
and what he's capable of.
Brant rocks.
He seriously
he's
does.
my
I mean-
I love the
favorite.
deep sport. I mean,
Like right
I
now-
watch ESPN. I love that stuff.
yeah.
I'm so close to saying screw everything that's talk sports the rest of this
Yeah.
freaking show.
Well, here's what I can say about Sam Bradford. A long-winded answer here, but Sam Bradford's actually improved in almost every advanced metric category, which for people that don't know advanced metrics, it's third down completion, passing to open receivers, bad passes that cause completions,
Tightness of the jockstrap.
all that kind of stuff. That it's not just, passes and completions and
Fleetfoot.
touchdowns.
Well-
And if you want Sam Bradford to be a top flight quarterback, he's got to have a top flight receiver.
Yeah.
You look around the league, every top quarterback has a top receiver. You put Calvin Johnson on the Rams last year, they go probably 12-4, and Sam Bradford throws 30 touchdown passes. I mean,
Yeah, all that gave me chills again.
Do you like Victor Cruz?
I do, but he's not worth a first round tender. He's because he's 27 years old or 28, and
what are you laughing at?
He said he's not worth a
Tinder.
first.
A first round-
So I was like, he's not worth a.
well, let me explain that
First.
comment. First round tender means the New York Giants have placed a first round tender on Victor Cruz. If somebody wants to sign him to an offer sheet,
They have to offer.
they have to give up their first round
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
And the Giants did that because they know no one's going to do that, and they can sign Cruz to a long-term deal,
Hopefully.
somewhat, at a lower price. So that's why same thing happened with Mike Wallace the previous year. So and the Rams did have 2 draft
And they
picks,
found out he
but
was dead. Boy, that made things.
Victor Cruz is what he is. I mean, he's a little guy. He's a little slot guy. He's not going to make a difference over a long haul.
Yeah.
He had one flash in the pan year, and he's steadily
Now,
going downward.
I happen to be a New York Giants fan because I grew up in New York.
You're a Giants guy?
Oh, I told you that last time.
Love
on
the
show.
Giants.
No
Hung
Rams
Howie, come on.
Yeah, I mean, if you called Hung Howie, you've got to be from New York.
Giants.
Oh, Giants. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. But no. I mean, I agree. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, and I'd love to see the Rams do well because I live in St. Louis. I've lived here for over 20 years.
Right.
I
So
could give
I
a shit
want us
less
to-
because they're aliens to our city.
You think Sam's hot at all?
Who?
And I think Bradford's a
Who?
good quarterback.
Sam
I
Bradford.
actually
I don't
never got a good
care.
arm. Forget the metrics. I think he throws
They don't
well.
win.
Yet. They
Well,
were 7-8-1. They were at almost 5.
They
They almost
won
made the
seven
playoffs
games.
last year.
I understand that.
That's huge
but,
for us.
yeah.
7, 8, and
I'm just-
1.
Look at it
That's
this-
It's huge.
Look
The
at it.
cheerleaders, not so much.
Oh,
But
Yeah, I can't stand them.
look at it
They're
this way.
horrible.
The Rams were 7-8-1. They went 1-0-1 against the 49ers, who were one bad pass in the Super Bowl away from winning the Super Bowl. And they could have very easily swept them. They went up week 17 in Seattle, which is probably the toughest place to play in the NFL, and tooth and nail all the way to the end and ended up losing. But, I mean, they were, and this can be said about almost any NFL team, but they were 4 or 5 plays away from being, 12-4, 11-5.
Right,
And
right, absolutely.
I just think this year, if they can get Bradford another weapon, if Brian Quick can evolve a little bit, and that offensive line is going to be much improved.
they improved over
Yeah.
the
and
course
if
of the
they
season.
get their
Right,
you could see it.
defensive line,
It's gonna be fun to see what
on
happens.
Gear,
Oh, they're
then
in good-
we could do something.
And the
It's gonna be
tenders.
fun.
But
They-
that's
all
the
the
whole
tender
thing.
parts?
It's like all these areas. Like if we were weak in one part, that would be easy to fix. But we're weak in all of the areas.
Well, I would say this: if the Rams can get another outside linebacker opposite of Jolon Dunbar and get a good safety, and then maybe a decent one in the draft, that's a Super Bowl defense right now.
I agree.
I don't
I
think there's
agree.
any question about that.
I don't
our
think
secondary
there's
wasn't
any
bad
reason
last
either.
Oh my God,
It's
Janoris
just, let's cross our
Jenkins.
fingers.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Mark my words. In 5 years, Janoris Jenkins will be.
Still be Janoris Jenkins.
He'll be
but
what Darrell Revis in 2 years. Janoris Jenkins will be in 2 years what Darrell Revis was 2 years ago.
Another
Right
New
on,
York-
but
New
you know
York
what?
player.
We will definitely continue this conversation. I mean, it's going to be so fun to see what the Rams do in the
Right.
draft in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Training camp. I am pumped. I mean, I hope we get a set of receiver in that 16 pick
Yeah,
and or 22.
I would say they'd probably go Lacey 16, and then if they don't have a receiver they like necessarily, they might go offensive guard or safety,
Yeah.
perhaps again. But I would be just completely shocked if Eddie Lacy is there. He doesn't get picked.
Definitely.
This
I
guy
don't-
really
Well, this
knows
is-
what he's
this-
talking about.
Guys, this
Speaking
is
of
Brant
Lacey,
Dulce, sports guy. He knows his stuff. You're going to be seeing a lot of this guy, whether it's on the Darryn Yates show and or his own show is coming up soon.
or he's coming to your house, actually, so you'll probably see a lot of him.
I
outside your
want to
window.
say one other sports note here. The former Big East, which is
Oh, dear. Here we go.
anyone besides the Catholic Seven, Marquette, St. John's, all those, you know the story. The other members of that conference are going to be called the American Athletic Conference.
Ooh.
That is the worst name for a conference.
How many teams
I've
are in
ever
the
seen.
AAC?
Well, I think there's 7 or 8, but I mean, it's going to be
I
brutal.
mean, they're real teams, right? They're actually play for real
Am I
college.
hearing
Yeah.
music?
Yeah.
Am I hearing music? Is
Is
time
Matt
to
playing
cut
music?
to a break?
I think Matt's trying to
is
tell
there,
something.
is
Yeah,
All
it
right.
time to cut
we're going
to
pretty
a break?
long.
We got to take a break. We
We gotta take a break.
thinking
Yeah, I hear you,
it's
brother.
time to
And,
cut to a break.
One last thing. I got WrestleMania coming up Sunday. I got upset special for you. I got CM Punk beating The Undertaker to push The Undertaker to 20-1. It's going to be huge. And
Well,
I
I
got
might take those.
Cena over Rock, and I got a heel turn for Cena after he wins.
Nice.
So what's going
Nice.
to happen?
Very cool. So what is your Twitter for people that want to tweet you or
Yeah,
whatever?
my Twitter handle is, my name is @Brant Dulce, and you can see the graphic on the bottom of the screen. It's
You got it.
BRANDT, capital DOLCE. It's @Brant
right.
Dulce. I'm on there all the time. Talk sports, life, politics, whatever you want to talk.
Very cool. Well, we'll see more of you for sure on this show and or your own show coming up real soon. We'll tell you guys about that real soon.
Sounds good.
Very cool. But he's going to stick around for the rest of the show. And you guys can check us out at themayhemnetwork.com. Email us at themayhemstudio@gmail.com. And we got a lot of stuff coming up. We got the Mayhem Factor, some cool events. Got some great guests. Our producer, Matt. Thank you, my friend.
Not a problem.
Lucy, I told you, don't bite on my dick. Hey, Fred, Lucy's giving blowjobs. Yeah, okay, Rick. Can we say blowjobs there, or is that also like off limits?
Why is that flashing yellow?
Because Darren's
I
pee.
think we had it on the, hold on.
Okay, isn't that kind of the point, though? It's Leave It to Beaver, starring a very well-endowed young woman. And
Okay.
as the beaver, Christina. Not
All right.
Favorite episode.
What do you think, Darren?
He was on
Yeah,
that show.
That sounds about right.
Why did our all of our
Yeah,
audio
yeah,
went out
yeah.
for a second?
Love Bob.
Been around.
Just now?
Yeah, it went out for like what, 5 seconds, came back.
Yeah.
It was
I didn't hear
It was a
that.
satellite passing over. It was the alignment of Saturn and my penis, and it just happened. It smells
Okay,
something
cool.
really
We're
good.
good.
But
Are we
I'm not
ready?
eating it, so-
That candle smells like burning tires.
You don't like
I
to
can't
That's
even
rubber.
smell it.
That is rubber.
You burn
No,
candles? No.
that's-
We
That
just-
is pure
We just
rubber.
put condoms in a Dixie cup and
That-
burn them.
I think Darren's ready to go.
You can put
I'm
a
ready to
condom
do
in a
it.
Dixie cup, you can burn
Let's
on
do it. Matt, you want to do your intro? Let's do this.